proposing.
We're here, dudes. We're here.
What? We're on?
We're on.
Are we on?
Are you on?
Yes.
Hey.
I was
hey,
paying attention.
Are we on?
We're on.
You were paying attention?
I was actually paying attention.
I can't believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, apparently this is the fun show on Big TV. Unless Doug comes on and tells me it's not.
What's the date?
Yankee Doodle Dandy. The date today is the 18th?
Yes.
The 18th of May. The 18th of May in 2015. Hardly a man is yet alive who remembers the fun show on Big TV.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was good.
Next week, ladies and gentlemen, will be Memorial Day, which means that we won't be here because we'll be out memorialing.
That's right.
Actually, at
What
least
are you going to memorial?
well, at least one of us will be out memorialing. Michael here, a
Member of
a noble veteran of WWII,
XPOW,
Will
the
be
American Legion. Yeah.
will be going out with
Jewish
his
war
brethren to march around town, visit various memorial sites and cemeteries.
Did you go to a parade of other old people?
Why not?
I just wanted
Well,
a visual.
actually, they call them veterans. They don't call them other old people.
Veteran.
Thanks.
Excellent.
And they will.
By the way, I'm
You honor us. You know this.
Well, you honor me.
Yeah. They start or finish
Kiera
at the
keyboard.
memorial out by the main branch of the public library. On the thing, Michael Sallen, our master of the keyboard,
Master of
the
thumbs.
Kiera Memorial keyboard, where
Except
the
I'm not dead.
the sign is not on here.
No, give me a memorial until after I'm dead.
Not necessarily.
You don't think so?
No.
All right. Well,
No,
you
no.
finished introducing Michael.
We've honored people who are alive. It's only currency you have to be dead to pay on, so you may say.
Noted.
Michael Sallen, Kiera Miner,
Arch
O'Riley. That's the cast of the fun show here.
Okay.
Where we have nothing but fun.
At Big TV.
Well, let's start off. You got something there you were going to talk about?
Do not donate your car without understanding what you're getting into.
Oh,
Yes.
So this is donate your car, make a wish. And I can tell you, as somebody who foolishly donated their car, it's giving your stuff away for no purpose unless you actually have multiple deductibles on your taxes.
Well, no payback to you.
Exactly. I got
If you
zero
believe-
benefit, and it probably didn't even go to charity.
If you believe in the organization, it may be for a purpose.
Yes,
Yes.
of course
But
it is.
unfortunately, a little research will show that the most aggressive people advertising "Give me your car,"
Yeah.
the money's not going where you're thinking at all. I mean,
Oh, I can't believe that.
the one that's most famous, the Cars for Kids jingle that you can't get out of your head,
It is a nice one.
it's actually going
6178546. Yeah.
going directly to the Israeli treasury.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't go to any kids at all.
Where did you get this information?
I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
Where do I get this?
You got this from the Palestinian
from the
company?
From the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, the Chamber of Commerce?
The Chamber of Commerce.
He did his
Palestinian Chamber
homework.
of Commerce.
He did his homework.
No.
Or the Arab Chamber of Commerce.
It doesn't have to be political to tell people that they're being ripped off.
Okay.
And
Well, if it's
regardless
going to
of where the-
Israel,
regardless-
I'm giving my car away. If it's
Okay.
going to Israel. I don't
Well,
mind.
regardless
I
of
don't
where
mind
the
being
money's
ripped
going,
off. Okay.
it's
don't mind being
definitely
ripped off?
No,
no.
Not by Israel.
It's just not a good idea. Just donate your car. Go get $500 from it, at the scrapyard.
Something like
That's all I'm
that.
saying.
Okay. all right.
Okay.
Well, I find it interesting that our neighbor, Robert Kraft, has decided that he's not going to simply roll over and take it.
I don't blame him.
He's not going to let Roger Goodell sneak up behind him and put it to him.
Well, now
right.
he should stick him.
And I think Roger Goodell's days as
glory.
commissioner of the National Football League are probably numbered.
And 40 million a year.
At this,
forget. Okay.
yes, right, incredible,
insane money.
incredible.
You heard me. 40 million.
That's,
You
my
know
stomach
what?
just rolled over.
And we probably work as hard as he does. It is not a tough job.
What about all those
Especially 'cause
referees
you guys
who were
are
supposed
retired.
test all the balls before the game began.
Well, but the point the point is that has never been a priority.
No.
The guy who for many years was chief of the referees for the National Football League said that the air pressure in balls was the lowest priority of every single job that the referees had. I mean, it never was a big deal. You can't blame them.
Well, they got 32 teams, right?
They got 32 teams, yes.
How many quarterbacks are there? Would you say 40?
Well,
50?
there's got to be 70 at least.
All right,
minimum.
Yep.
How many of those guys have we heard from that have said, "Oh, it's terrible. This whole thing is a scandal"? How many have we heard from? I've heard.
Well,
one, I
Zero.
think.
We've heard from 4 or 5 who said, "What's the big deal?
Yeah,
we did the same
that's the thing.
thing."
It's the opposite
they
of
know.
what they're trying to
Yeah.
generate.
And or they said, "Hey, you didn't lose big to them because the balls were a pound and a half underinflated." You know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. What do you got on?
If
there?
I were Bob Kraft, what I'd be doing is I'd be taking my marbles and going home. And I'd be saying, I'm not going to play in the National Football League. Any of you guys want to join me in the American Football League or the some other football league? I would start my own football league at this point if I was Bob Kraft. I'd just say, call me when you get rid of Roger Goodell.
I think you should write
I
a
was
little
just gonna
piece
say
on
that.
and
I
send
think
it
you
into
should.
the Globe
Yeah.
with
I
that.
absolutely think so.
They would print it.
Yeah,
There's got
they
to be
would. That
5
was
or
a
6
great
teams
idea.
that would join him right away on the thing.
Compare.
I want to see a copy of it when you send it in because it's
Okay.
definitely a good.
All right. So
Peace.
I regret to announce that the little Palin had to call her wedding off. She was
Are we
meant to
talking
be
like Sarah Palin child?
Sarah Palin's daughter.
Okay.
Bristol Palin, I
and
think
we're
it is.
we're talking about this. Why?
Well, it's just interesting that it was a big deal and they had a big wedding plan. She was marrying some Congressional Medal of Honor winner or something like that.
Something.
Some military superstar or something. And then it came out in the tabloids that maybe he still had a wife. Now,
And maybe he didn't get that special medal either.
and it may be that that's not true, but whatever is there seems to be enough that they've called off the wedding.
Okay.
I am really distraught over this.
I know that's why I'm
I'm going to cry my way back.
clearly Arch is concerned about this.
Well,
we're talking
the
about
thing
this.
is, normally I would say this is nobody's business but theirs. Leave the poor kid alone. It's not her fault that her mother is who she is.
Okay.
On the other hand, she elected to do a reality TV series, and therefore she's open game. She deserves to be on the cover of Us Weekly.
I'd say so. But anybody who wants to do reality shows these days deserves that.
Well,
Open
you're just
their mouth.
asking for
Okay.
it at that point.
They cannot sue anybody for libel by definition.
Yeah.
I was watching thing on this military channel, and they had on all these our guys in North Africa with the Brits and the New Zealanders and the Indians.
We're talking WWII again, right?
Well, 127 channel, 127 on our box.
Okay, wait.
And they what I was drawn to was the similarity between war in the desert in the Middle East
Yes.
that our guys are fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yes.
And then
We're
when they
fighting
were in
in a lot
North
of
Africa, and
deserts at the
Tunisia, and all these Libya, and all these other places, the war was very similar, and it's a terrible kind of fighting, and it was kind of sad to see this all over again. 50 years have gone by, and we're still seeing the same thing with our guys in the middle of it again with the Brits.
It leaves me with one question, though, Michael.
Okay.
What's a good kind of fighting?
Well, if I'm on the hill with a big cannon and I'm aiming it at Adolf Hitler, that's a good fight. Okay.
There
Fair
aren't
enough.
many.
No.
In
okay.
the words of William Tecumseh Sherman,
War is
it's
hell.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's basically.
And that's what the Indians found out when they dealt with him, boy.
Yes. Well, so did the Confederates.
Yeah.
Interesting thing. You may have remembered a number of weeks ago there was this young man from Memphis, Tennessee, who applied to and was accepted by all 8 Ivy League schools.
Right.
And it was a big deal, right? Well, today it was announced that he's turned them all down and he's going to the University of Alabama.
Right. I think that's.
Don't they?
Wow.
Don't they have advisors anymore?
Yes.
They advise you to do whatever makes you
Yes,
feel
and they all
good.
got bonuses at the University of Alabama.
Probably.
They made a lot of money out of this.
Yes.
Now, his theoretical justification was that Alabama was the only one who offered him a free ride.
A free ride
And
while he's playing his banjo.
Plans to be a doctor.
A doctor.
And this will
foot
help him
doctor.
start saving money already. Now, the only problem with that is it's a lie. It's a lie.
Well, that's like
Yeah.
Pakistan has a setup there with a big university, and you get all kinds of degrees and everything for money. You know, we used to do that game in this country. Now
We
it's
still do. It's called University of Phoenix.
well, it is, yeah, but you gotta
Yes.
they punch in how many times you went to the class once or turned on the television set.
Yeah, right.
You don't
Right.
have to do any of that with them. See?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just
Send in and order the sheepskin
send
you
the
want,
money
right?
and tell the degree you want. You know, you
And
want
you know the virtue of
Right.
getting it
PhD
from
in physics,
Afghanistan
astrophysics.
comes on a real sheepskin.
It does.
Okay,
And
then.
the sheep,
Yeah, with the wool on the back
Yeah.
or without.
sheep is running around bleeding and bleeding
No,
or
no.
bleeding.
Oh.
Anyway, I think it
With
was
a
kind of a
T.
shame that this kid.
Well,
and,
it is,
And I'm
yeah.
not even saying which Ivy League school he should have gone to, but
Stanford. I got him then. I met a kid today. I met a kid yesterday in the supermarket.
onset senility.
I was telling him about a bright kid in the checkout line, and he's the cashier, and I'm telling him, you got the skills to go on to Harvard. I said very
Yeah.
clearly, and everybody was listening. And I went into the tuition and the room
yeah.
and board, and
Yeah,
we get a
good,
great
good.
deal. He says, I don't like living in Massachusetts.
I'll go to Stanford. Okay,
I
that's all
said,
right.
well, where else would you go? I said, the University of Chicago? No, that's not far enough. I said, California, he said. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So be it.
Was he local?
Yeah, he's a local
Okay.
guy.
He was
needs
trying
a
to
change of
escape.
scenery.
I won't get into that part of it.
Okay.
That's up
So
to-
did he mention Stanford?
No, I did.
Because Stanford now is also, free for middle class
That's
kids.
what I told him, too.
So it gets there. Talking about people making good choices, there's this
Okay.
famous extreme athlete by the name of Dean Potter, or was, who was famous for a lot of, free climbing, base jumping, all these kind of extreme things.
I left my script there, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have to look on with her.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's all right.
Or else we need to send somebody for a script.
No,
Yeah,
we can't
we can
do
just
that.
share this
we'll
together.
Read this together. Okay.
Okay, so we're going elbow to elbow on this.
All right.
All right. I don't know.
We'll have to
You
see
okay?
if
Wait.
see if they have a shot.
Wait a minute. I'll look again. Oh, I am. I found it. Okay. Now when you talk about
goodness.
senility, you're in. Okay.
Anyway,
And I didn't even think he was paying
Mr.
attention to
Potter
that.
and
I'm
his
laughing their
friend,
heads off. What?
Mr. Potter and his friend jumped off a very, very, very high promontory the other day in those parasail suits. These one-piece
Is that
suits.
Bush?
Who did it?
Potter.
Oh, wait a minute. That's George W. Bush, H.W. Bush. That's what he does. He jumps off of planes when he has a birthday.
He jumps out of planes.
But he's talking about the suit. It's a suit that you wear. It's
yeah.
I think it's
Yes.
a parasailing
I don't know,
suit.
parasailing or whatever it is.
suit, something
Anyway,
like that.
they both got killed.
They
So-
got killed.
Yes.
How? What happened? Did they run into
You
a
can't
tree?
sell that suit. That's
Nobody
for sure.
really knows.
Really?
Their spotter just heard a long crash, and then they had to search for them for a while and found
That's
them
a
on the
terrible
floor of the
story.
canyon.
That really is a terrible.
That is sad.
But it's the issue is people who take these very, very high risk chances. You can't prevent them, right?
Well, George H.W. Bush on his birthdays, he jumps out of the plane. And
Not by himself.
No, this time he gets strapped on with somebody
That's
else.
right.
Yeah.
Well, he's 90. What?
He's 90.
Yeah.
So what? What the heck is 90?
Well, he first
That might have
jumped
been
out
the
of
last year.
He first jumped out of a perfectly good plane when the Japanese filled it full of holes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now apparently time for the.
Yeah, what is it? Time for?
Unrehearsed thespian portion of the fun show.
Introduced none other by our director.
It's the Big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation for this evening. Once again, out of the vault that
The
is
cavernous vault.
hidden somewhere in the bowels of Thorndike Street in Brookline, we have exhumed.
I got loose bowels, by the way.
Oh, for goodness sake.
All right, go ahead. Okay.
You digress.
Yes, or the
I eat
title
a
of this
lot,
show.
too.
On the other hand,
Okay.
all right.
All right.
So action.
All right.
Action.
I'd love to get a state pension.
Who wouldn't these days?
Well, that wouldn't be too difficult.
Easy for you to say.
I'm not a teacher, a firefighter, or a cop.
Well, you're alive, aren't you?
Most people are.
Yeah. Then all you have to do is run for office.
Well, how far and how fast?
Center staircase at the State House.
Not amused.
Can I have it enhanced?
Sure, of course. You can have fudge sauce, nuts, marshmallows, whatever you want.
Not what I had in mind.
Well, give them a pension and menu.
I can pick.
Of course you can pick. We're a commonwealth.
Yeah, we share state revenue with everybody.
But I have to work first.
Work? That depends on how you define it.
Well, qualifications might expand or stretch.
Sounds like it calls for a study commission.
Over budget.
Legal obstructions.
Illegal obstruction or political obstruction. Okay. Go ahead.
How old do I have to be to get one?
Why do you ask?
Could an animal get one?
Wild or domesticated?
You guys are crazy.
Now
Yeah.
you know why a study commission is vital.
A psychiatrist could be an expert witness.
Or he or she would decide.
They
That's
come in to
what-
testify about our mental state.
Do caucus close the state hospitals?
But did the departing residents leave with pensions?
Some said they served time.
Well, that's sort of true.
Give them shelter, food, and clothes.
Does that constitute employment?
But you know, they were originally seeking treatment.
Oh,
Yeah, for an ultimate cure.
where's all this going? You'd have to ask Governor Patrick. Is that it?
Let me ask you, what happens if a lawmaker is turned out of office by an irate public?
Not easily, but he collects. What else?
And if the person stays, he or she collects.
And then there's the State Retirement Board.
Which doesn't like to reveal confidential data.
However, leaks provide much sensitive information.
Shouldn't all citizens benefit?
Laws can be fragile and elastic.
But they count towards rewarding service.
In checks and dollars, naturally.
Especially with fuzzy statutes and sticky statistics.
You're serious, don't you care about old age?
It's your money, isn't it?
Yes, but you can't obtain what's unwritten or lost.
It's rather like that Monopoly game.
My turn to roll the dice.
Well, nobody seems to win everything.
But you could try.
Oh, that's wicked, Pessa.
Being in the spotlight can be perilous.
Okay. And unpopular.
Quietly gets it done, by Jove.
Perhaps even successfully.
True, a moderately steady course is best. You don't miss
That's
it,
how our
man.
president hoped to move us out of recession.
So I can gain at your expense.
Yes, but I come first.
Well, he only wants what's not his. That's it.
Now, that's very realistic in today's climate.
Folks do enjoy a permanent stream of cash.
Anyway, no one will remember what we're talking about.
No matter how it was conjured up.
But there must be papers.
Who can say unless you break down the walls?
Or excavate.
It's only public stuff.
Nothing is really ever hidden completely.
You're right, it's just accidentally misfiled.
Now we're getting it.
That's your opinion?
State Treasurer's contract is a fading memory syndrome.
And it's incurable.
I'm not a doctor. Maybe a clumsy accountant.
Wasn't so long ago.
You know, forgetting becomes infectious.
And
I
memory
agree.
faulty.
Viewpoints change over time.
I once met a girl from Toledo. I mean, she was in administration. Okay.
Suppose a governor demands action and reform on rescinding.
Don't you realize that's tantamount to political suicide?
Like
But if
Governor
he's
Patrick
right-
on layoffs, sure. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Next page, Joe.
No, we've already done that. I don't know where you
Where are
were.
you, Tankermount?
But
Would you
if
like to
it's
pick
right-
up with the Attorney General there?
I don't know where are you?
Here, hold on.
Is that
Right
far
there.
down?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
where you're. There
Where
you go.
were you?
Then the attorney, I was
all his
thanking
notes.
myself for writing this whole stuff. Okay. The
got-
attorney general makes a determination that may take a while.
A long while. I'm in a quandary.
A quandary? That's an awfully muddy place to
Who
be.
voted for them?
The law is the law.
Then the law is an ass, rather Dickensian.
Could we have another Beacon Hill holiday?
Bah humbug. Always complaining.
That's what the thieves say.
How dare you?
These are bloody lips. That's
Hey, we're civilized, aren't we?
You brought it up.
Well, I'm not your personal Neanderthal.
but a good stand-in for a Cro-Magnon.
And he doesn't live in a cave.
True. Who in the world would foreclose on a cave?
Once I painted on these walls, on those walls.
That's evidence of intent.
Only graffiti.
Well, I'm totally innocent.
He spent all the money.
You spent all the money. And I wouldn't do anything wrong, guys, sure. That's what they all say.
Caveat emptor.
Hey, watch your language, pal.
A scam artist with swine fever.
Uses an online pharmacy.
Probably Craigslist.
What would
Oh,
the
Facebook.
Taliban do?
Take the money and run.
Or swim if you're a Somali pirate.
Is that a campaign slogan?
What happens in the legislature should stay in the legislature.
With the hordes of journalists.
Beats living around year-round in Florida, I guess.
Oh, come now, it's only an address.
He who laughs loudest is loathed or loaded.
Oh, you're a comedian. Ah. Well, go
What
ahead.
about the cod on the flag?
Some people deserve pensions.
Even if it becomes a hollow process.
This conversation reminds me of badminton.
What's that taste like?
He deserves a pension.
It's unanimous then, huh?
But will the globe stay open?
Yeah, some of their workers might even get pensions.
Very stressful.
And will the MBTA build bus tunnels?
Hey, we just finished the big dig.
Well, Governor Patrick, will he balance the state budget in those then?
And what about Lobovich?
The guy resigned the long way.
But is he eligible for a state pension?
Blackout.
He stands in line like the rest of
us.
us.
Blackout.
That
Well,
was cute.
Well, it's
We took a stumbling stab at the best page there.
yeah.
And the reason is that
Show them.
Michael had written himself a whole bunch of more lines.
Yeah.
But he didn't write them on our scripts.
No.
So some of them he just couldn't resist, which left us in the lurch. We were reading the lines that were printed, and he were reading the lines that he'd printed.
What about the judge and that guy who got
Sarnig?
who got the death penalty?
Oh,
What
oh
about
yes.
him?
Oh, what about him?
Yeah.
Well, they're saying he's trying to block him from getting any financial gain from all this.
Everybody wants to write a
sickness.
book about him, I'm sure.
Actually, who is this who's trying to block him? Some self-promoting lawyer.
Yeah, well, that's it. And
Don't
all
hate on
these
my people.
Guys that are sitting at the word processor.
Andrew Kahan, a victim advocate for the city of Houston, the nation's top anti-murderabilia
That's
crusader.
Okahan.
Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, he's from Houston, and
You don't know anything about him.
Kahan is 6/10.
the illustration takes up half again as
Jaragoose.
much space as the article does.
Okay, all right.
But the
There's
point
not much
is,
substance to
the
that
point
article.
is, they want to keep Sarnaev from making money by writing from prison. Of course, there's no real evidence that he can write, and the problem is, if he made money, it would do him very little good. The only thing it would do him is he could buy extra candy bars at the prison commissary. So.
But as you pointed out earlier, he could find a way to get that to
he
his
could help
family.
his family.
Yep.
He could help his family. I mean, he could write anything.
Or he could help fund other terrorist groups
He could
from
fund
that
it.
money.
Yes,
That
he
money
could.
could easily be funneled in that
That's
direction.
possible. That's
So-
possible.
And that would, I think, blocking him from it
Maybe
is
he'll
prudent if there's a bigger.
Well, there's currently no law that would block the secondhand gains.
What if they use the money to open a hummus factory?
A hummus
Hummus
factory.
Hummus factory, hummus.
And where would
Oh, my
this
goodness.
be? Where would this be?
In a town named Hummus there. In,
Hummus, Iowa.
no.
Oh,
it's-
my goodness.
It's in Libya. You
What
know
else you
that.
got on that list there? Let's move on
No,
from
no,
this.
they're from
The
Chechnya.
farmers want drones. Do you know
Farmers
that?
and the drones. Why do the farmers want the
The
drones? Do you remember
farmers.
this conversation?
Da.
The farmers
Oh,
and the,
the farmers.
drones be
Okay,
friends.
all right.
I
Why
think
do the
there's
farmers
something in
want
our
drones?
tea.
Oh, the farmers and the ranchers should be friends.
That's the song.
Yes,
okay.
the farmers and the
Yeah,
ranchers
but why
should
do the
be
farmers
friends.
want drones?
The farmers want drones because
It's silly.
somebody has sold them on the idea of sending up drones to look down at their fields and find places where the irrigation is not working properly,
Right, and the bugs are
So-
eating happily.
so that they could
So they can spot spray.
so they could spot places that they had to treat and not treat the fields
Instead
generally.
of having the CIA bomb it and sending in all kinds of spies to check it out, we don't have that. With a drone, it just does the job. They buy a drone for $65 and send it up there with a camera.
I'm totally shocked to hear that the CIA has taken over the Department of Agriculture.
I
No one
was
had ever
completely
told us
lost
this.
on this.
No one has ever told us the CIA had taken over the
This is
Department of
When did this
Agriculture.
happen?
Secret stuff I'm exposing now.
You better watch out.
I mean, disclosing. Okay.
You better
Oh,
watch
my
out.
goodness.
That's what's going to
and on that
happen.
note-
All right.
This is Michael Assange over here.
Michael Assange.
Michael
That's
Assange.
very good.
You're going to be
Okay.
in the Bolivian embassy if you keep this up.
Oh, well, it took
Oh, my
Jeb
goodness.
Bush 4 days to decide about whether he should have gone in the war like his father or not.
Oh, yeah.
4 days it
Interesting.
took.
Not it.
He doesn't like hypotheticals, he said, and he doesn't like pushy people asking questions.
Was it his father or his brother? It was his brother.
The
No,
father was
I think they were asking him about his brother's war.
Yeah, his father was in a war too. And
Yes, that's true.
yeah, okay.
He started a war in the Middle East.
Well, it's close time.
It is.
It
time.
is? Really?
It is.
You wouldn't
It
believe
flew
it.
by. We had
Just
so
like
much
that.
fun on the fun show.
Wait a minute. We can't have the fun show right away. We gotta do this. What are we doing?
We're singing good night to your beautiful wife.
Come on.
Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. We'll see you in our dreams.
Now a war song.
Huh?
What was that song you wanted?
I don't.
Yeah, you had a
The
song.
Yankee Doodle song.
Just to ride the ponies, I am a Yankee Doodle boy. Stuck a
Right.
feather in his cap and
Thank
called
you,
it
everybody.
macaroni. Good night, everyone, from the Fun Show here at Big TV. Good night, Irene. We will see you in 2 weeks. Have a pleasant Memorial Day, and join us here again in 2 weeks at Big TV.
All right.